Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of West Ham Fan TV's, well, I was going to say post-match pint, but it's the transfer deadline day show. How are you? I'm just having a cup of tea. Hope you're all well. I'll be joined by some guests throughout the night. We're just going over West Ham's transfer business over the last couple of days. I've got a first guest coming to my studio now, and we'll be talking to him in a second. I hope you're all well. Thank you for joining us in the chat. Let me just have a sip of this tea. And West Ham are actually having a decent transfer window signed already. Let's go along on the bottom of the screen. Kurt Zouma coming from Chelsea for £25.7 million. Areola coming on loan from PSG. Nikola Vlasic for £25.7 million from CSKA Moscow. As I said, Kurt Zouma, £25.7 million. And Alex Král is the latest to sign, the midfielder, coming in on an initial loan with an option to buy, I believe, from Spartak Moscow. I'm pretty happy with that, to be quite honest with you. I've been very negative about the transfer window and negative about the business. The only thing I would say is that if we could somehow get over the line Jesse Lingard tonight and a striker in the next, hour and 40 minutes, I will be very, very happy, because we've got very much cover in all of the positions now. It's just a striker. And I want to see Lingard come back. The only striker we've got is Mikel Antonio. He's not really a striker, let's be fair. And a striker would be perfect. There is rumours at the moment that Rondon may be coming in on loan. But I think we've now, because of the Král loan, I think we've used up our international sort of loan signing. So let's have a look anyway. So first of all, it all started Saturday, I believe, with our first signing of the season, Kurt Zouma. And I thought I'd bring in a big Chelsea fan just to talk about a little bit about what we've got in Kurt Zouma. So, Louis, welcome to the stream. How are you?
I'm not bad, mate. How are you?
I'm a lot better than I was on Friday, that's for sure.
Oh, well, I know how you've always felt about West Ham transfers. I remember we spoke in April, you were like, nothing's going to happen. Not going to make any signings. And here we are.
To be fair, mate,
a fantastic defender that you got.
You're breaking up a little bit there. I don't know whether it's your internet or mine. Please let me know in the chat. You're frozen at the minute.
Nah, am I back? Am I good? What is going on here?
Yeah, you're all right. You're all right.
We're all good. We're all good. We're all good. Hello, I'm back.
So what was you saying, mate? You broke up
the internet and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you're going to get. You've got a really good defender, and hopefully you look after him. And it's good to see you happy about transfers, given the previous, God knows how many years we've spoken, and there's not been much movement in the market.
Yeah, I mean, I am quite happy with. I mean, we played a game against Palace on a Saturday, and our defensive frailties were there for all to see. Although we're good going forward, defensively, we've conceded 5 goals this season, and they've all been like defensive mistakes. So we've been sort of crying out for a centre back. We got rid of Balbuena. He left on loan. He got released. He didn't leave on loan. He got released. Diop's not really proven himself. I don't think he's ever going to get back into the West Ham team. So we needed a centre-back, a starting centre-back, because, look, we're in Europe. We've got a lot of games to contend with, and we need to start making our squad better. If you stand still, then, you go backwards in this league. And I think we've took a huge step forwards by signing Kurt Zouma. Tell us a little bit about Kurt Zouma, Lou.
Well, you definitely have. Kurt Zouma was very unfortunate to not be able to get into the Chelsea team, because he had stints where he was absolutely super, prove his worth. And for us, he was just an excellent deputy, but realistically was someone who could walk into the first team if we needed someone to come in. Under Lampard, he proved himself. Even before he had the ACL injury, when he improved himself, went to Everton, proved himself. Man is a seasoned Premier League centre back. And in terms of players I've watched live, he is the best recovery and one-on-one defender, apart from John Terry, that I have seen at Chelsea. in my times since I've been going regularly. So you've got yourself a steal. If Ben White is worth 50 million, Zouma's worth at least 60, and you've got him for 25.7.
So how has this happened, Louis? How have we got this quality defender? I mean, going from Chelsea to West Ham, many would see that as a bit of a step down. If he's as good as you say you are, I'm very surprised that one of the top clubs weren't in for him. So how have we got him for so cheap? How have we got him at all?
I think it's just a case of he wanted to leave. We needed to balance our books a bit. A huge profit. I think we made a profit of £20 million. Absolutely insane, given our transfer credentials. But yeah, I think with Kurt Zouma, you've got yourself a player at that price because he wanted to stay in London. You know, he's got family here. He loves England, and you know, West Ham was just the option which came by. I think the reason that a big club might not be in for him is because the thing with Kurt Zouma is he's a very underrated defender. He's not someone who's got, you know, this massive passing range, which everyone talks about in you know, centre backs now. They're like, oh, every centre back needs to be able to pass that from the back. Every centre back needs to do this. Kurt Zouma can do that. He can pass those balls. He can ping a ball. He can do the simple passes, but he does the priorities of being a centre back first. Aerial duels, one-on-one, as I've already mentioned, recoveries if someone gets past him. Kurt Zouma's unbelievable, and I think the only reason you really got him is because, fortunately in my case, you know, Chelsea have got a very, very strong, and obviously Thomas Tuchel, and as many football managers do, you know, if you've got a team which works at the back defensively, you're not really going to alter it too much. And I mean, with a three back, we've got, you know, Aspilicueta, we've got Christensen. Well, we've got able coming through, Trevor Chad opportunities recently as well. So, you know, we've got 4 or 5 there, which we've got some great options. There was the situation with Jules Koundé as well. You know, we were supposed to be getting him, however, at the allow because obviously I deal with Zouma. Sevilla did move the goalpost, so a verbal agreement was put in place. But for me, centre back wasn't enough. We had options. You know, you just picked deal. I don't think it was in GSP's locker. I mean, the conversation me and you over the past 5 years.
There's a lot of Louis. I do apologise, mate. There was a lot of comments about your internet. Are you using a coat hanger out the window for your?
No, my internet's supposed to be banging, but it's great. But then all of a sudden, whenever I see a live stream, it decides to be a dickhead. So I am invested
probably everyone on the internet looking for transfer news. That's what it is. Using all the bandwidth.
Probably is, to be honest. It probably is, but you know, I'm very sorry about that. I am doing my best to. There
is some wonderful comments here. If you can hear them, and we'll get your answer. Are you using a PSP? Is one of them
a PSP?
Yeah.
What are these?
Is that what you're filming on? Are you using dial-up? There was a great question that came in, a serious question. Big up the PSP, by the way. What's up with your Afghanistan internet? Someone said.
That's great. It's a good one. I like that.
Somebody did ask me. I can't find it at the moment, but here we go. Doris from Northampton says, "How is Zouma if we want to play 3 at the back?" Which is a valid question, I think.
Solid. I think if you, I mean, your options. I mean, you probably play Cresswell. I'm just trying to mirror what it would look like for Chelsea, but obviously at West Ham. So I mean, Cresswell has played as part of the 3, right? At some point. So it'd be what Cresswell will probably be the Aspilicueta. You'd have Zouma will probably be the Rudiger, you know, the brute, the big centre back. And then in terms of your ball player, honestly, I don't know who it would be, but you guys know better than me. But I mean, you know, he's played well in the 3 back with us on several occasions. He just does the simple stuff, you know. He's the one who steps up and wins the ball, and then if he needs to distribute it short, he can do that to someone in midfield, or you know, if he needs to distribute it to a centre back, he can do that. If he needs to distribute it to the wing back, he can do that. He's a very, very good defender, and I'm you know, I think he'll definitely prove his worth at West Ham, and he's definitely somebody who, you know, he'll get all the plaudits he does deserve. And you guys got, like I said. Hell of a player.
I am definitely looking forward to watching him, mate. I think these sort of signings can transfer us. Dan, I'm going to drop you out 1 second, mate, just while I finish up with Louis. Is that all right?
All right, Lou. See ya.
All right, Dan. See you later. Bye.
He's obviously walking home. Maybe he's been up the training ground. You never know. Yeah, I mean, I'm very much looking forward to him. I think this is the for all of the moaning I've done earlier on. I think the signings we've made. I mean, you can look at the bottom here. Areola on loan, Nikola Vlasic coming in from CSK in Moscow. I think he's a very good player.
I like him.
Kurt Zouma and Alex Krauss is signed. Is the latest. What are you making of West Ham?
Well, I think if you guys carry on the way, you carry on the way you're playing, and obviously you kind of continued the form you had at the back end of last season. It'd be interesting to see what happens. I think for me, I think you guys do okay this season. I think it's the balance of Europe. I don't know whether it might be a shock. It might be a shock to the system or something. And this isn't me, belittling West Ham. It's just a case of you guys haven't been in Europe for a long time. Obviously, you got a pretty good coach. He's finally settled. He fits in at West Ham. So it's just a case of, is he going to find balance? I mean, you guys have now made a lot of signings. You've now got, I guess, options. So it's going to be very interesting to see how you handle that European running. I think in December, if you guys have progressed out of the group and you're in a comfortable position and the thumbs up. But I don't know if I think that's going to be the potential stumbling block West Ham season. But realistically, look, I think you guys will be all right. I think it'll be down to whatever you prioritise. But you definitely stay in the league. There's no chance of relegation. Whether you'll win a cup or you'll really challenge for the top four, maybe, not the top four, but the top six and the top eight will be interesting to see, and keeping up that run.
Just to quickly, Matt, and I don't want to bring a downer to anybody in the chat here, but we must address the elephant in the room. Declan Rice, Chelsea long-time admirers of Declan Rice. Chelsea fan as a kid, best friends with Mason Mount. Are you still with all of the business that you've done and or looking to do? Is Declan Rice still on Chelsea's radar?
I believe so. I'm not in the dressing rooms, not in the tactics room, not in the boardroom. But
you got your ear to the ground. That's what I would say. Yeah,
look, it's not this window. It's probably not going to be January. But with a year left in his contract as of next season, I think we'll come in and we won't just snoop. I think we'll swoop in and get him next year. It's not going to be. No, we're not. He's not going to be. You're not going to get the 90 million which you were touted for. I don't think next year. But he's either going to go to us or he's going to go to Man United. Wherever he ends up. Look, bottom line, I really like Declan Rice, or the Basmati Busquets, as I like to call him. So I think that he's somebody who, again, I'm very much a big fan of the players that do the simple stuff well, and he does the simple stuff well, and I think that's something that's massively undervalued in modern football. Great defensive midfielder. He's a great leader. He'd walk into that Chelsea team, and not only would he walk in, he's definitely someone who's potential captain material, having already captained West Ham and led teams at such a young age. He's someone who I look at and I go, do you know what? You do really, really well at this team. And he's technically gifted. He's fierce. He's dominant. I love him. It will be on the radar, not just for us, but for many teams. Whether or not we collect him and go get him, different conversation. I think now we've just signed Saul on a loan deal for this season. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes. It's not an obligation to buy; it's an option. So we might end up taking up the option to buy Saul, which will mean we don't go get Declan Rice. But I think with Kante not having as many games in the tank, and I think when I say we got a lot of depth, we do have depth in midfield, but it's a problem area in terms of, do you know what? I just want a defensive midfielder who's going to come on and do the job and see out a game. I want someone who's going to be fierce and dominant in the middle. We don't have many players like that. You've only got N'Golo Kante. So Declan Rice is definitely someone who I'd really, really like to get.
That's wonderful. And finally, Louis, thank you so much for coming on, by the way.
Sorry?
Are you happy with Chelsea's business? Looking serious title contenders this year, I'd say. Good draw the other day.
I'm not complaining. I think look, we're in a good position. Whether or not we're going to win the league, I mean, you know how what's the word? Reserved I can be when it comes to those sort of conversations. I think it's a case of we have to analyse that come December. if we're in a stronger position and we're looking up rather than down in terms of the top four battle, then we can have that conversation. But look, there are 4 teams that can go for a title this year, and we have to be in amongst it to even have that conversation. And right now, we're looking pretty good. So let's see what happens. And I'm pretty sure we'll obviously when we play in the new year, I'm pretty sure we'll be having that conversation and we can analyse it then.
That's fantastic, Louis. Thank you very much. Good luck for the rest of the season, especially when you play the Mighty Hammers, of course. And hopefully we'll be battling it out for that title at the end of the year. You never know, do you? Weirder things have happened.
It have indeed. We'll have to see, but I don't think it'll happen.
I don't think it'll happen, either, no.
All right, mate.
But Louis, fantastic to see you. Thank you so much for coming on, mate.
Cheers, thanks. Take care.
Thank you. Scott Saul, I want to know if Nicky is really happy. I'm going to take some of your comments now until our next guest comes. Well, our next guests are our own presenters, so don't get too excited. That was an interesting chat with Louis about Kurt Zouma. He's very full of praise for him and says one of the best defenders that we'll see at West Ham. We have had one of the best, but Scott Saul says, I want to know if Nicky is really happy. At the moment, mate, yes, I am. The only thing that concerns me is the lack of striker. That's the only thing that concerns me. We've got good cover all over the field. It's actually good business, really good business. And I'm looking forward to seeing some of these players playing for West Ham. Kral's an exciting player. I watched him for the Czech. It is confirmed now. Souček and Soufal did a video with Alex Kral introducing their Czech teammate. Welcome to West Ham United. And of course, they've done they'll come on you irons. The only person I haven't seen do the come on you irons is Kurt Zouma. I want to see one by the end of tonight. A come on you irons from Kurt Zouma would be perfect. Vlasic has come in. Areola, we already knew he's been in the squad a few times. And of course, Kurt Zouma, very much looking forward to seeing him. Epic Hash Time says, Nicky, how's Graham doing? He was okay, I think. He wasn't too bad. I think Kral is Declan Rice replacement for the summer, says Danny Lake. He is on loan. So if he is, we'll have to sign him permanently. David Lash, Rice is gone next year. It will only be a matter of how much. 80 million would be a great guess. We get what we ask for, or we don't sell. Says Alex Danu. Our next guest is waiting in the wings, so I'll get him in. I'll just take a couple more comments. Anas Ahmed says Nicky is back. I am back indeed. I don't know. I haven't been anywhere though. Hammers Mikey says, who's going to make subs bench for us with these new signings? Someone's going to have to miss out. It's a good problem to have, mate. And James Fever, Nicky, is it a mistake not getting a striker through the door? Yeah, it's a massive mistake. I don't know why we haven't even gone for one, but yeah, that's the only position we're lacking in. So let's get Ryan in the stream. Ryan, hello, mate.
Yes, mate. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
It's nice to be a guest on my own channel.
You're not a guest, obviously.
I think you disappointed everyone there. They thought someone good was coming in. And then
they got the best. What do you mean?
Well, sorry, mate. Sorry, I'm running a bit late, mate. I got caught up in a bit of traffic. I had to have a quick shower because obviously we're going to be on late tonight, so I can't be going upstairs at 11:30 and having a shower. I'll get it in the ear.
Dan come in, but he looked like he was walking 1,000 miles. I don't know what was going on there. So
I just see that you had Louis on.
Yes, yeah, I did just have Louis on. Yeah,
good old Louis.
Yeah, he was very complimentary about Kurt Zouma. He said he's going to be one of the better defenders we've seen in the Premier League.
Do you know what, mate? I'll be honest with you. I know a couple of Chelsea fans, and they've both said the same thing to me. They're really gutted that he's actually left, and they really rate him highly. So, I think that, he's definitely a great signing. Definitely, I'm quite pleased with the signings that we've got, especially today. And I know you were saying about the striker, and yeah, I'm a bit gutted. And look, there's still time. You never know what can happen. The only reasons I can see that him maybe not getting the striker in is because maybe he wants to put Bowen up top. He sees Bowen as a makeshift striker. He can use Yarmolenko up there if it comes to it. I know that's not
the only thing I would say, Ryan. The only complaint I've got, look. We'll address the elephant in the room the other day. I had a bit of a breakdown about 6 weeks ago, and we'd had a bit of an argument regarding transfers. And fuck knows why they do this every year, but they've left it to the last seconds. But they've done some good, and I'm not too much of a prat to not hold my hands up and start complaining. This is good business. What they've done now is good business. But I don't want to see makeshift strikers. I want to see a striker.
The boy from Vlasic as well can actually play out front as well. So maybe look, we've got every signing that David Moyes has done since he's come back to this club has paid off, and I sort of trust David Moyes. And these are not David Sullivan signings; these are David Moyes' signings. Every single one that's coming through the door is a David Moyes signing, and these are the players that he wanted. So. Look, as I said, how long we got? Hour and a half before the window shuts. I know there's rumours that there's a youngster coming in from Hibs. I think he's a striker. But yeah, look, I'd love to have seen someone. I know we was linked with Dembele today. We've been linked with Rondon. You know, if we could have got one of them in, you know, it might have made this the perfect transfer window. But if we don't get a striker in, I'm still confident in what we've got and what we've added.
Yeah, absolutely. Just quickly take this comment. I heard from another West Ham channel that there will be a surprise signing before the end of the transfer window. Do you know anything?
No, I haven't heard nothing. I see a couple of people saying that there's going to be a youngster coming in that's going to cost no more than $1 million. So he's obviously one that's for the future or for the under 23s. The thing is with Jesse Lingard as well, I was speaking to someone yesterday who's quite a reliable source, and I think it was Man United that was holding Lingard back. They wanted him to sign a 1-year extension and then loan him out. West Ham didn't want that. Lingard didn't want that, but it looks like Man United have played hardball, and it looks like he's staying at United. But it wouldn't surprise me if we get him in January. Well,
it's a bit of an odd one with Jesse Lingard, because why would he sign a 1-year extension just so they can send him out on loan again, just so they've got, you know, you're in exactly the same position as you are this year, next year, and you've wasted a year of your career, you know, and you've got to then hope and pray that Man United do the right thing and let him go, or they're going to demand a fee for him. I mean, it just stinks for me, to be quite honest with you. Hopefully, like, if he don't come this year, then as you say, January we could pre-sign him, or we could, you know, get him back on loan or whatever. People talking about Bamba. Do you know anything about Bamba? Jonathan Bamba?
No, I heard the rumours earlier. It seems like all day there's been like every couple of hours there's a new name linked, and everyone gets a bit excited on Twitter and everyone starts tweeting about it. And the thing is, unless there's someone lined up now that's here, I mean, look, deals can get done even though they're abroad. You know, it can happen. It can happen. So for me, listen, I even got so desperate. I even looked who's out of contract on a free, because I can imagine West Ham doing this and signing someone tomorrow who's out of contract on a free. But trust me, there's no one out there. The only two names that really stood out was Andy Carroll and Daniel Sturridge, and I'd rather have no striker than them.
Well, to even get a full season out of all three of Antonio, Carroll and Sturridge, you have to sign them all, and I don't think we've got enough space in the squad. To be quite honest with you,
I'm surprised because we've still got two domestic loans left. So I'm surprised we ain't looking around someone like Origi from Liverpool. Surely there's got to be a striker out there. West Ham are an attractive football club. I mean, unless it is David Moyes. I mean, we've always sat there and said about Sullivan and Gold. It might be David Moyes. This is how he wants to work. He might want to play like the false number 9 with a certain player sometimes when we have to, when Antonio picks up an injury, because we know that's going to happen.
Jack Mate over at Amma's chat, he's saying that Lingard's at the London Stadium and he's signing on the next 60 minutes.
Well, Lingard was training with England earlier, so
he must have done a mad dash, mate, because that's
done that. He's done that on the quick.
Yeah. Who knows? Mapei from Brighton, thoughts, says Sam Butler. To us,
I'll tell you one thing that surprised me. The player that we've been linked with sort of all summer, Sima, signed for Brighton. They loaned him out to Stoke.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it?
That's fucking and Brighton only paid 6.8 million for him as well.
Yeah, They was what was they touting like 20 million for us, weren't they?
That's crazy, mate. I don't know what's going on there. It's random that he's gone out on loan to Stoke as well.
Yeah, I do think it's a bit nutty. Like it's you know, if they're going to loan him out, they might as well loan him to us. We could have done with him probably.
Yeah, they probably won't loan him to Premier League rivals, will they?
Amos MS says Amos chat not even live. I do believe they are live, but you know, don't go over and have a look. Snazzy Azzy says Graham is signing, lads. Scott got turned down. Says Snazzy Azzy. Sam Butler just says yes. I agree with that. Could Moyes look for the Championship for a striker that is open for a bit longer? But they wouldn't sign for us because our transfer windows would be shut. That's what I believe anyway. I believe. Kai Hughes says the ball deserve praise this time, Nicky. You and a lot of others are more than happy to give them sticks. So give credit where it's due. I do not agree at all with the hate they get. Listen, Kai. Listen to me now. I give credit where it's due, and Ryan will back me up on this. I'm a moaner. I'm a miserable bastard, and I expect a lot. And I ask for a lot, and sometimes I don't ask for much at all, and it still don't get delivered. But I'm giving them credit. I'm going to sit here tonight. I'm going to give them credit. I'm going to say I was wrong for losing my shit a couple of weeks ago. The only things I will say is that they've left it late. Why they've left it this late, I don't know. I would rather have had these in. I mean, we've got a European trip in 2 weeks. I'd rather have had these in a month or two ago to sort of get them bedded into the squad and played some Premier League games before we have to ship them off over to Zagreb. But I have to give them credit in the signings that they've made. But what I would say is one swallow does not a summer make. That's what I would say. And they need to do this more often. I think it's a bit of a disgrace that they've let our squad get as thin as it is, to be quite honest with you. And we have to sort of scramble around on transfer deadline day. But I'm not going to sit here and make up whinging or moaning or anything just for the sake of whinging and moaning. I'll give them credit. There we go. That's that. They've done some very, very shrewd business today. Yeah,
it's not only that they've backed David Moyes and give David Moyes what he wanted. These are the players that David Moyes has targeted and has worked on, and I'm looking forward to seeing them how they gel. And it's exciting because we were sitting there against Crystal Palace saying, "What have we got on the bench?" Well, now if you take our starting lineup from last week and add these signings, you've got Kurt Zouma, Vlasic, and Krell to come on. You know, so there's decent players there. So he's building a decent squad. The only thing that does obviously worry us is that if Antonio goes down and gets injured, what have we got? But then that's what makes me think that Jarrod Bowen is going to be used more up top. You know, he's looking at that option maybe.
Maybe. Forever Folkestone says, Nicky, you've got the back of the ball now, mate. Not quite, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? What do you think about all the signings? I like the signings. I think when you look through the signings that we've got, Vlasic could quite easily come in and take someone's position. So could Krell. Krell could come in and you know, do a job and he could take a first team position. Areola can replace Fabianski. He could be our number one in the next sort of month or two. And who's the other one?
Zouma.
Yeah, Zouma starts. So I think that's all you've got to sort of ask for in transfer windows. At least one or two players that come into your starting 11 and properly competes for. And you know, I'm not talking about Arbeloas or you know, fucking Gokhan Torres or you know, Fagulis that just don't get into the starting 11. They're just not good enough. These are players that have come in and could quite easily be starting week in, week out for us if they perform. And that not only does us a favour as a club, but it does the players that are playing a favour, and it gives them a chance to raise their game. Like, you know, Declan Rice, you know, he's not going to be able to say he's going to be in, week out anymore. Souček ain't going to be able to say I'm playing week in, week out anymore. You know, it's going to push someone like Mark Noble a little bit further down the pecking line. But I don't think Mark Noble's going to worry too much about that, to be quite honest with you. He's had a long career and he's a West Ham fan, and he likes what's best for West Ham. But every player that's come in this transfer window can compete for a first team space,
and that's what we need. That's what we were saying. I mean, if we'd have got a Jesse Lingard as well, I think it'd have been the perfect transfer window. But every single one of them players now that we were sitting there the other week thinking, if Rice goes down, if Souček goes down, now you've got someone like Kroll to come in, Vlasic to come in. This is what we're saying. It's about having a strong starting 11. And now if these players make the starting 11, the players that are dropping out onto the bench, it's a stronger bench already. And as you said, there might be games where Mark Noble might not even get on the bench. Yarmolenko might not even get on the bench. The goalkeeper, Areola, I think he will be in goal against Southampton. I really do. I think he's going to come in for Fabianski. I think Fabianski started this season. He's been a bit poor. He's been a bit poor, Fabianski. And maybe that's because he knows he's got someone up his arse now, ready to take his place. And there's a bit of panic in there. But he's been a great servant. But I'd like to see him come in and take Fabianski's place.
So welcome Dan into the field. Just invited himself into the room. He's completely disregarded the fact that I was introducing people, and he's just.
I didn't know the rules. I haven't seen no one let me know the rules.
Well, if you didn't turn up late, you'd know the rules. Derek Daly says Tevez is a free agent. Bring him in till January. Says
he's about 38 now, isn't he? 37, 38.
I think he's older than me.
Yeah,
I don't think at 38 he's going to be up in sticks and coming over to England again. To be quite honest with you.
Someone's just mentioned him now, Okoflex. Obviously, he hasn't been loaned out, and maybe he might be involved in the first team. He's been banging them in for the under 23s. Maybe Moyes has looked at him and thought, I can have him around the first team.
Hammers Oyer disagrees with that opinion. Hammer Ollie 543 says disagree. Crow is miles behind our midfield, and Vlasic is worse than all of our attacking midfielders.
Wow. Only time will tell. I mean, I don't really remember him when he was at Everton, but I've seen a lot of Everton fans jumping on our on Twitter, on West Ham Twitter today, and laughing at the signing and things like that. I mean, that might come back to haunt him because he's gone out to Russia and he's become a great player, and his assists and goals. All right, I know it's in Russia, but he's come back and he's a bit more older, level-headed.
I was speaking to the lads from the Toffee Blues, and they were saying that was the opposite. They said that he looks a very promising player who didn't really get a chance at Everton because of the players that they had there at the time, and they was upset when he was sold. So, I mean, that's obviously genuine Everton fans that aren't there for Twitter banter.
When you look at the signings since Moyes has come back, apart from Dawson, like they've all been young. They're all up and coming players that he's looking to build a team. And this is what he said he'd do when he come back the second time in his interview. He said, "I want to build a young, fresh, strong team at West Ham," and that's what he's doing. And he said it might take him 4, maybe 5 transfer windows, but now he's starting to get the players in that he wants.
Tom Budden says, anyone take Arnie? No, he's gone to Bologna. So no one's taking Arnie.
I'm surprised that we didn't. Like, I heard that Moyes was interested, and for the price he went there, and the players seemed happy to have him back. So I'm very surprised we didn't go for that one.
Funky Pigeon says, make a lineup using all the new signings. Same lineup as Saturday with Kurt Zouma in for Dawson, I believe, until they sort of prove themselves.
So you wouldn't go with what Ryan was saying and then stick Areola in goal?
I think Fabianski deserves another chance, to be honest with you. I think he deserves another chance. He's done he's had a couple of shaky moments in our goal, but like overall, what's he been with us now? 4 years, 3 years, 4 years?
When's our next cup game? When is that? What date?
It'll be United in the cup in middle of September, won't it? So that's where he'll get his chance. But the thing is with Fabianski, I think he's only made 1 save this season.
Yeah. I think he was a bit poor for the first goal, Crystal Palace goal the other day. But as I said before, he does have his moments, Fabianski. But overall, what's he been with us 4 years now, isn't it? In the 4 years that we've had him, he's been absolutely brilliant. He's been absolutely excellent. And
he's been a great servant for West Ham. One of the best goalkeepers I've seen in my time watching West Ham, Fabianski. He's been a great servant. But I just think, how old is he now? 34?
Yeah, I think so. Something like that.
Areola's 28. So it's just start getting him involved in the first team, give him that opportunity.
He's definitely. This is Fabianski's last season.
Fabianski's 36, by the way.
36. Yeah, it's his last. It's his last season under contract, Fabianski. So Ariola's definitely
at the end of the year.
Yeah, I believe so.
Really? I never knew that.
So yeah, I believe that's what I'd heard a while back. And so if Areola is the future, the thing is, he's not our player. Areola, he's on loan, and I like to think that we will make it permanent. But there is that little thing, isn't there? Just the idea that we might not get him because he's on a lot of money. He's got big wages. Areola, I think he's on over like 130 grand a week.
That's a good signing for Crystal Palace. Edouard from Celtic.
That we were linked with for a while.
Good bit of business there.
Sam Butler is saying that I've been saying for about 5 years. I would have got Danny Ings before Villa. I'm very disappointed that Danny Ings wasn't thought of. I think I would have took him over someone like Vlasic, if I'm honest, for the same money. But it is what it is. That we ain't got him. Villa have got him. So
a lot of missed opportunities.
I think that was a bit of a missed opportunity. Somebody said he's Pi Capital next through the door. And is this a sort of a parting gift?
I would never trust that Golden Sullivan to give anyone a parting gift. I'd never bank on them. I don't know. But they did say that they was waiting until after the transfer window to make their second big bid, Pi Capital. So the second bid will go in. Whether it gets accepted, that's something none of us know. Only Golden Sullivan will know that if they'll accept it.
I mean, deadline day ain't as exciting as it used to be. I mean, do you remember the old days when they used to be outside the training grounds with all the fans around them? And that's what I used to love about deadline day. But the mad story tonight was Real Madrid and PSG. PSG turning down £179 million. But Mbappe is going to go to them for free next year. It's crazy. That just shows how much money they've got that they can turn down that sort of offer just to keep him there for another season.
It's a joke, mate. It's a joke that they're allowed to run the club the way they do on such a massive loss that they've spent all of this money and are going to let a player go for free and not to even partly cover it. It's a joke that they're allowed to do that. But we've got financial fair play. They don't. So we're supposed to try and compete with these teams, in terms of the English team. So,
I mean, when you look at Barcelona's team now, as well, they had Neymar, Messi, Suarez. Now they've got Braithwaite and De Jong. It looks like they're going to sign. Crazy Spanish football. 1 minute you think it's on its arse, and then Real Madrid whip out 179 million, just like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's mad because Real Madrid were complaining about money and they needed to start the Super League and they was in financial trouble. And like you said, they just pull out this fucking money out of nowhere to sign a player. It
would have been interesting though, but if they have actually got the money and then PSG would have said, yeah, all right then Real Madrid might have gone, no, we're only joking, and turned their phone off.
I think Real Madrid and their owner, because their owner obviously is the guy that's started the top Super League guy, I think they're still confident of pushing it through, and they're still their aim. So it's very interesting. We've got a super chat here from Deadly Gran 11, £5 super chat. Cheers, mate. Krau is actually an underrated signing. If Rice gets into touch wood, he already has the chemistry with Souček, so he can gel into the team much quicker. Yeah, I think Rice, he's played so much football already since last season, including the Euros, and now he's going to be playing in the international break. It's almost been just non-stop for him. So, and you can see he sort of looked like it was catching up on him a little bit during the Crystal Palace game. So I think giving him a rest would be ideal.
Yeah, especially in the League Cup and maybe in the early parts of Europe, because obviously Kral's got experience playing in Europe. Absolutely. So he might come in and they might, as much as I don't want to rest Declan Rice, I want him in the first team every game. But as you said, he's played a lot of football over the last year and a half. The Euros must have took it out of him, and he only had like a 2-week break, and then he was back early pre-season. So he has played a lot of football, and I think you're right. He did look a little bit sort of leggy on Saturday, but he still ran his absolute bollocks.
Yeah,
off,
give it all. Yeah.
Devon Ruby says, do you think lads think Oko Flex could break into the first team this season? Now, that is one thing that we should talk about, really. Oko Flex is obviously doing well down in the under 23s, under 21s, whatever he's playing at the moment. It's a massive step up to come into the first team, but if no striker comes in, it could give someone like Oko Flex a chance.
Yeah. I'd like to see.
He's a winger, but you never know, do you?
I mean, it's one of those things, isn't it? With Moyes, you can never count out whether a winger can be played up front. You never know with Moyes, and if he thinks he can, then yeah, I would like to see him get a chance. It depends, isn't it? I think the Carabao Cup would have been perfect, but we have to see if we get past Man United and where we go from there. Because the FA Cup's not for a while. I can't see him just getting the chance in the Premier League, not with the amount of players that we have. And then same with the Europa League, we want to go super strong. So it's going to be the cups, really. It's like the same with Odebeku, isn't it? Where he got the sort of sub appearance against Man United. Maybe that's where he can feature. I'd like to see it, but I think we've got a talented player there, not potential.
I keep refreshing my phone, hoping that it's going to say it's going to pop up. Ex-employees tweeted saying he's got a little surprise for his followers at 11:15. I don't know if he's going to do nudes or anything, but I don't know what that is. Unless he's going to pull a striker out of his wardrobe or something.
Out of his wardrobe.
Did you see the announcement video for Kroll? I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, well,
Souček and Soufal need to work on their acting a bit, but no, that was great. The thing is as well, what David Moyes is doing, I don't know if you noticed, and especially in the last with Zouma and Kroll, he's bringing in characters into the change room, good characters, good squad player, and that's something that we've lacked a lot over. We've always looked at our squad over the last few seasons, especially under Pellegrini. There was a lot of egos in that dressing room, but now this looks like a really tight team. You see them always mucking about on Instagram and Twitter and having a laugh. And these two Czech boys have come in. There's 3 of them now, so the banter is going to be in.
You know what? It's like he's playing FIFA Ultimate Team and he's trying to get the chemistry up on there. I know you might not get that reference, Ryan, if you don't play in FIFA, but you play FIFA Ultimate Team and you got to have the players that have the right chemistry, so you turn the lines from red to green. That's like what Moyes is doing.
I mean, when I woke up on Sunday morning, I see that video of Kurt Zouma smiling. It just made me smile. It just literally made me smile because he's that sort of character. And as we said before you come on, Dan, Chelsea fans have been saying how gutted they are that he's actually left. And
they didn't even get Koundé, did they?
No,
they sold him to get Koundé.
There's a fucking spider right here. Look,
got mugged right out. But what is it with the channel? Rats, spiders.
It's right in my face. Oh, they're all coming down.
I'm really looking forward to seeing Kurt Zouma.
Me too.
I think him and Ogbonna can get a great partnership going because they're both good in the air. Zuma's obviously a lot younger than Ogbonna, so Ogbonna will be the older head. But then you look on the bench, and if you've got someone like Dawson on the bench that can come on if we need him, that's what I'm saying. Zouma comes in, Dawson drops out, and the bench gets stronger with having Dawson on there.
Yeah, so, Dawson's someone I like to, when you're trying to hold on to a win and the other team's throwing everything they can at you, right? You get a Dawson on, and he is so good at defending in that situation when your back's against the wall, and he's heading everything that comes to him.
We ain't even mentioned him yet, but Diop's there still as well.
I'm glad we didn't send him out on loan, to be honest.
Before we go anywhere, before we go on and move on to the next subject or carry on chatting, everyone that's watching, take a second. Get that button, smash the like button, because it really helps us out. Or if you're watching on Facebook, smash that or like our tweet. And if you ain't done that, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel on anything. Follow us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, and share the video. If you want your friends to come along and have a little chat, we can get their comments read out and all of that sort of thing. Yeah. Bring them along. Joe Dale donated £4.49, but he forgot to put a message in. He's put it straight underneath, so I'm going to read this one out. I don't understand how Edouard has been completely ignored. 13.5 million is a steal.
You know what? I think that when we played against him in Celtic, I think that might have put us off of him. Like Moyes, you know, sometimes like we were interested in a player, then they're like, "Oh, we saw him play this game, and we're not interested." Maybe that's where they changed their mind. Because up until then, we were proper linked with him, and then after that game, it was like nothing for the whole time. So,
well, it's like Kroll, wasn't it? We was linked with him heavily, like
during the Euros,
and then literally it just went dead. And I thought, well, that deal's not going to happen. Then all of a sudden, it's just come out of the blue, and then bang, within a day, he's here. So maybe that might have been a little thing that like it might have been a deal with his current club that look, we're going to sign him, but it'll be the end of the window. And that I don't know, but
that's shout out to Gary Cray, £5 super chat. Do good job, lads. Keep it up. Cheers, mate.
Thank you very much.
Cheers,
Game Right's got a good question here. Anyone gutted about Lingard? I am. I would say I'm gutted. I was really looking forward.
I'm less gutted now that we've got somebody.
Yeah, I just think he was such a good personality in the club. He was well liked. He hit the ground running. He really enjoyed being in it, and he didn't get to play in front of the fans like that. And we didn't get to experience him live and how he plays. And I don't think it's out of the realms of possibility that Lingard will come in January. It's going to be interesting if he signs a new deal at Man United or he just runs his contract down like until the summer. But maybe a cheeky £10 million bid in January could be enough to get, especially if he's not going to get any game time. It's going to be very hard for him to get game time there.
Yeah, I'm gutted that we ain't managed to get Lingard in. He was fantastic for us last year. I think even with the signings we've got, I think he still would have been a massive addition to this squad. And he would have pushed all the other players like Bowen, Lanzini, Fornals. He'd have pushed them as well into getting into the starting 11. But yeah, I'm gutted, but I agree with you. I think January, something will get done and we'll see him in a West Ham shirt, fingers crossed in January. And look, January is not a long time. It's not a long way away, is it? It's only a couple months.
Yeah, I can't begrudge the owners for not paying 20-25 million for a player that's a fringe player that, they want to move on and he's not even going to play and his contract's up next year. So I thought that was ridiculous, the prices that they were asking for. And Man United fans are fuming.
I'm going to come back to Ryan's comment 1 second because there's a few before that. Akil, never fall in love with a lone player. Yeah, I agree. It's like a summer love, isn't it?
So I'm not a big fan of getting loans.
Gamer Right says, I don't think Lingard fancy the move. Daughter's young and based in Manchester. Yeah, you've got to think about that.
He did want the move.
Oh, he did want it.
A person I spoke to yesterday who told me about it was United, the one that was mucking everyone around. They wanted him to sign a contract extension, and West Ham didn't want to do. Lingard don't want to sign the contract extension. He was happy in London, and as you said, his daughter's only young, so it's easier to move when they're young.
Very true, very true. And that's the thing. And he met with Moyes. Why would after the Man United game? Why would he meet with Moyes if he didn't fancy it? He wanted to move.
John T says, wonder if Lingard will regret not leaving. I don't think he's going to get much game time at Man United. Yeah, I think that's a bit silly, but it's his decision. Whoever it may be. Ryan Swift, Nicky was sat in front of you at Newcastle. Apologies for giving you an heart attack when I mentioned, said I thought Souček was encroaching the penalty area and a bit rebound. I remember this guy, man. Because he gave me a couple of heart attacks. Because every time we scored a goal or something happened, he was going like that. Like I think when we scored the first one, he went offside. I was like, no, he's not. He's offside. And I was like, no, honestly, I could hear him like saying things to his friend. And he's one of them people that he's looking at the worst case scenario every time, and he was giving me an heart attack. And he turned around to me and went, Souček was in the area. Oh, you're joking, isn't you?
I would like to know if Ryan ever celebrates a goal, or he's just like, nah, that can't be a goal. It's not happening.
I think VAR took it out of all of us. We don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah, that's what you've got to do. You've got to subdue yourself now, haven't you? Stevie B, West Ham are good at keeping their cards to their chest. It's a tight club, no prima donnas now when they're moving in one direction. Very impressive. Yes, Stevie, that is true at the moment. But it's keeping the second part is true. Keeping their cards close to their chest. No, I don't think that's true, to be quite honest. We've got more leaks in the fucking than a tap, you know what I mean? So
they've done better at keeping their cards close to our chest this summer than we have in past windows. There's been a few that sort of signings that sort of come out of nowhere that, like Areolas and that.
More leaks than the Welsh greengrocers. That's what we've got. Alex Judd. I hate this fucking program. Gamer Right says that's a good point about Lingard. Lynn Sander says if you were Lingard, the prospect of being in the same squad as Ronaldo is a once in a lifetime opportunity. So fair enough. If he wants to stay at United, take out. I don't know what is that? Is that like emojis or something?
Must be. The thing is, he's not even going to get to play with Ronaldo. He's not even going to get to.
Well, he will at some point. He's not going to sit on the bench all summer, is he? He's going to play at some point.
They've got a lot of players there that in those positions. So, and if he plays, Ronaldo might not be in the squad. He might play a Carabao game, and Ronaldo might not even be in the squad because they want to manage him. He's playing time. So.
Ryan Smith come back to Ryan and says that's what VAR has done to us.
Ruined us all.
Stevie B says Southgate is still picking Lingard on the strengths of his performances for West Ham last season. Southgate won't pick him if he's warming the bench. Yeah, that's another good point. He still has England ambitions, and I'm sure that if a deal was reached, it'd come. I'm sure of it. You never know. There's still an hour left. You don't know. You know what I mean? Like someone could come in United, or Ollie could change his mind, and
that's why January is crucial because we're going to be coming up to the World Cup that year, and if he can get away and get as much game time as possible, he's going to figure himself into Southgate's plan. So we'll just have to keep an eye out, won't we?
Yeah. For all the new people coming in, we just passed 800 viewers. We're going right up. Smash the like button for us. Share the stream. Get your friends talking. I'll press that by accident. I'll take this one instead. Dave Bromley, what do you guys think of not signing a striker? If Antonio gets injured, we lose so much more than just goals, hold up play, chasing down defenders, and strength that provides goals for others.
I'm hoping Moyes has a plan and he's factored this in and he's looked at maybe someone like Vlasic and thought I can play him up front and it's going to work. Like I'm hoping that Moyes knows what he's doing in that and he's not too bothered and he has a solution for that. If Antonio gets injured, he's a smart guy and I would imagine that he wouldn't leave us short again. Some of the players that we've signed up. Yeah. So whether it's Ben Rama up front, whether it's Bowen, whether it's... I'm not a big fan of Bowen up front. Hasn't worked before. But whatever his solution is, we just got to trust him for now and then see how it pans out in the season.
I was saying that he's probably going to look to maybe use Bowen more up top. Maybe one of the reasons bringing Vlasic in was to play out wide and allow Bowen to move more up top if we need him, if Antonio gets injured, of course.
Kai Coulson says Nicky should slap a hammer shirt on himself and play out a pick-up strike. I've got all the training gear, mate. Got more training gear than fucking West Ham in a minute.
He's got the home shirt as well, so.
I've got the home shirt. Yeah, I can play at home.
Yeah.
What shirt numbers do you reckon Vlasic and Crowell? Oh, who fucking knows?
Thank you for the 449 super chat. What ones are left?
Did you see the announcement video for Zouma's shirt number today? That was good.
It was excellent, I thought. Do you know what I was really impressed with? The way they put that little Premier League badge on the number.
Yeah, I've seen one of them saying things before. And how they do it, man. You got to have some serious patience.
How do they think these things up, though? Who sat there and thought, how are we going to announce your shirt number? Oh, no, get that geezer that can fucking draw with the sand. That's a brilliant idea. Put it in a fish bowl and draw his shirt in the sand.
But what low shirt numbers are left? I'm really bad remembering.
What number was Anderson? That's available. He was 20.
No, he wasn't. He was 8.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. 8 has to be available.
Fornell's like that, isn't he?
Oh, he has now, isn't he? Fornell's.
So what was Fornell's last season?
He was 8 because Anderson went out, didn't he?
Yeah. So I guess it's just whatever they might just keep their shirt numbers what they've had, at their last clubs.
Yeah, number 11's available because of Jesse Lingard's gone.
Yeah, maybe Vlasic.
No, it won't. He was 18 last year. He only become number 8 this season.
Yeah.
I'm just going to drop out a minute, guys. If you want to take some more comments, I'm just going to drop out. Just one.
Yeah, I mean, I when it comes to this point, they just choose whatever numbers they like. They might have the same what they have in their national team or the same of their previous clubs. Like you look at Ben Rama, he took 22 just because it was his dad's number,
Yeah.
So,
but
it's hard to predict.
Number 30 is available now because obviously Antonio.
Yeah,
the number 9. So I'm getting confused now. It's fucking so many people.
Vlasic could be in that number 30. Yeah.
Yeah, 4-0 was 18 last season. So this year he's number 8. So there's the 18 available. So yeah, but
it's not much outgoings as I thought there would be this summer. I looked at it and I thought, we're going to have to move on a few players to bring in players. That's what we were hearing. Talking about Yarmolenko being the player that we wanted to move on. Doesn't look like we are. Very surprising.
Yeah, I'm surprised Yarmolenko's still at the club, to be honest. I think when he come on Saturday, I think his body language just looked like he knew that he was leaving the football club. So I'm surprised we kept him. But look, he might play a big part in Europe this season.
Yeah. You can never. We can't grumble at having more players in the squad. And I think now that we've got this sort of 9 subs you can have on the bench, I think that's going to help us out a lot this season. Joe Dale with a 449 super chat. Bets on when and where Big Sam will appear this year. He surely will. I'm saying December, January, Arsenal for Big Sam.
I'm saying sort of the same sort of time. I could see him ending up at someone like Norwich or something like that.
Do you know what? Like, I'm surprised Norwich, for a club that's been relegated as many times as that they've never thought to turn to Big Sam, just to see, that's something that would really restore his reputation. If he managed to keep them up, that would get his reputation back after West Brom got relegated last time.
Yeah, but I don't even think Big Sam could keep Norwich up. They do it all the time, don't they? Come up. It's just like they're happy to be here. Happy to be in the Premier League, but
no, that's it. Remember when Souness called us a yo-yo club, right? Which made me laugh. And that now Norwich is an actual definition of a yo-yo club. We've been relegated from the Prem twice.
I think Man City have been relegated more times than us.
Yeah. It's the cheek that he called us a yo-yo club, but Norwich are proper yo-yo.
That's a good one. Look, Stevie Ray about. Are you guys surprised that we haven't sold Winston Reid?
I thought he was, because he was linked with Brentford, wasn't he? A permanent move to Brentford.
He done quite well at Brentford last season when he played, but
I think he's
another player you just forget about, didn't you? Because he hasn't played for us for so long. You just forget about him.
Yeah, I think his wages were a big stumbling block because he's on like 75 grand a week or 80 grand a week. You're trying to get him
taken since his last appearance for West Ham, he's earned 14 odd million pound in wages. It's crazy.
And he weren't exactly a regular first choice every week for Brentford. So I think trying to get him to take a player like that it's difficult. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens to Winston Reid, whether we can still loan him out. I think we can probably still loan him out after deadline day, can't we, to maybe a foreign club?
I think so, yeah. I think so or they may just end up releasing him.
Which will be sad because he's in testimonial year,
Exactly. That's why they want to release him, get him out.
Exactly. It'll be nice.
Yeah, I mean, with Winston Reid, he'll always be in our history books because he was the last goal scorer at the Bowling Ground. He'll always be in our history, Winston Reid. I think he's been a great servant for the club. And when he was first signed, when we first signed him, he was unreal. And he had that chance where he could have left us to go to, I think it was Arsenal at the time.
Yeah,
but he chose to sign a new deal because he just loved the football club. And it's a shame the way it's ended for him.
He deserves a proper send-off, I think. I hate to just see him get released and go, we wish Winston Reid the best of luck. And I would have loved the testimony. I really enjoyed Nobles, and it's always nice, and it's good for charity.
Brandon, writing it down, at the new signings day, who are you most looking forward to watching?
Watching-wise, Vlasic, I think, in terms of how exciting he seems to be on the ball. I'm really interested to see how he fits into the team. I'm excited. The one I'm most excited about getting is Zouma, just in terms of him improving our defense. But in terms of just watching, I think entertainment-wise, I think Vlasic is going to be sort of get you out of your seat player.
Yeah, we've definitely got a few flair players that we've tried to do it down the last few years with the likes of Anderson, but it hasn't worked out. But the likes of Ben Rama now, Lanzini, Bowen, Fornals, we're just getting such a good team, and we're getting players that want to entertain the fans.
Yeah,
you look at the first goal on Saturday. When I watched it back on Match of the Day on Saturday night, I was just like, I was more impressed than when I was there, because when you're there, you don't really take it in. But when you see it on the replay, the little 1-2s, and that's what we've been lacking a lot of, confidence in the players.
Yeah, I think that's it. And I think with Vlasic I think he is a flair player, but he looks strong as well. He doesn't look lightweight, and I think he looks like a player that can hold up the ball. And I think he'll fit in. I think all the players seem to fit right into our system, and we play, like you said, we play really entertaining football now. I'm really enjoying watching us. So we've made signings that only improve that. And Zouma as well. Zouma is another player that is good on the ball and can actually progress the ball forward and go on runs, sort of like Diop does, but you're a little bit less shaky. So that's exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited to see
this is an interesting one. So Matt Empson says Lanzini is done out here now. But look, we've got Souček and Rice as they're our main first choice centre midfielders. Then we've got Krau. We've got now Lanzini. I think Moyes is more eyeing him in that centre midfield position. With all these extra games, don't be surprised if we don't see a bit more Lanzini there. In terms of having that depth and the options, if something happens or we just want to give Souček and Rice a rest, we can play Krau and Lanzini there. So I think he's still got something to offer the squad, Lanzini, based on that. Yeah.
Lanzini has still got a lot to offer. I think Europe. This is where he's going to be useful this season.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think I really liked him when he started to play that position, that centre midfield position last season, and he looked as better than he has done in a long while. And I said I don't think he's going to get anywhere close really to like the wing or the attacking midfield position with how much depth we have there. But that position I think is somewhere that he can play. No, this can't be true. Lanzini having a medical at Porto. That's a wind up, surely.
No, do you know? I was just looking at that because I see that comment come up, but it's gone a bit quiet in the last hour, which is it's a bit it's a bit disappointing, but in a good. I think. Do you know what? We haven't really spoken about it. One of the best things we've done this transfer window as well is keeping Declan Rice. I don't know if anyone actually want to come in for him, but I know that West Ham made it very clear that he wasn't for sale. So maybe clubs just looked at it and thought, there's no point.
I think Man United were desperate for him. I think Man United were absolutely desperate to get their hands on Declan Rice with how much they needed someone in that position. Let me just block that. Yeah, how much they needed someone in that position. They were desperate, and I think apparently they tried, but we was never going to accept any of their little pathetic offers that they were putting in.
I can see that the little trolls are out tonight. Probably fed up doing it on Hammer's chat because I see the same bloke doing it on their channel. But keep doing it, mate. It don't really bother us over here. We don't care. Maybe he should concentrate on getting his own dead channel back up and running.
Let's have a look, see what we can see.
You know what, as well, some Man United fans were trying to, they put up Man United journalists were trying to put a story out that Declan Rice is fuming that he hasn't got to leave and all of that. And I pointed out, literally, he's just tweeting, out about the Souček and Krau and Scuvaz video with irons and laughing emojis and all of that. Doesn't look like a player that's fuming to me. I think he's very content and happy to stay at West Ham this season and what happens in the
Yeah,
future.
no, they're obviously trying to unsettle Declan Rice and the fan base as well by putting stories out about that. But I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything from Declan Rice's body language since he come back from the Euros that looks like he wants out of this football club. So these journalists will always make up these stories just to get a few retweets and sell papers and things like that. But we know Declan Rice. You know,
look,
he's seen it grow as a player.
It's no secret, Ryan, that Declan's destined for bigger things. There's no secret. You know, you can see it from a million miles away. He's a very, very good footballer. You know, bordering on world class in his position, probably one of the top in the world at the minute. He's only going to get better and better. It's no secret that that eventually he's going to move on, unless something drastic happens and we get this big investment and we start buying sort of the Mbappes and all of that in the world. It's very obvious that he's going to want to go to a club that's going to want to compete for trophies year in, year out. It's obvious. So the only thing that I would say about Declan is he's never sort of made any noises about moving. He's one of them footballers that's not going to, chuck his toys out the pram. He's very young. He's got a lot of years ahead of him in the game. And, I was tweeting the other day, he's got nearly 130, 40 games under his belt for West Ham. He's got 25 England caps now. He's only about 22, 23. He's got a lot of years left in him, and a lot of England caps left in him. I mean, he's in the bracket that he could end up becoming England's all-time, caps holder and all of that sort of thing. Is that sort of bracket, how many he's got so early, and he's got a couple for Ireland. So
I think with Declan Rice as well, mate, is that he might want out of the football club, but he's got too much respect for the fan base to do it publicly. He'd rather just, if he wants out, he'd do it behind the scenes. He wouldn't show any disrespect to us as fans. We've taken him in since we was at his debut, Burnley away, and we've seen him grow every season since then. And now he's a regular in international football. He's the first name on a team sheet for West Ham week in, week out. He's a captain at the moment.
He's very close with the fans. He's very close. Like, he has a very good relationship, a very normal relationship, which is odd for a footballer. Like, a little story about Declan Rice. I think, one of the first seasons where we started, before he was a world superstar, the season he broke through, he used to talk to a lot of the. I remember, like Luke Malden and he probably still does, to be fair. And I know he sorted out Marshy with a shirt for his son and things like that. He's a very humble guy. He's Declan, and we was doing fan cams in Southampton, I believe it was. Right? Am I right? Southampton.
Yeah, Southampton. Yeah.
We was at Southampton doing fan cams, and he, like, out of the blue, just wandered out. Come to, so I think someone was Snapchatting him. I think it might have been Lukey Malden was Snapchatting him. And he wandered out, and we was doing fan cams. He was watching the fan cams, like he's watching people film the fan cams. And someone said, "I'll get him on." And I'll be honest with you, and me and Ryan both made this decision. He was a very young player at the time. He was a few games into his West Ham career. We turned down the chance to have him on because we didn't want to get him in trouble.
We said to him, "Give us $2,500,000," and he went, "I've only got 1,500." Well, go away then, Declan, mate. We're at $2,500,000, mate. No, yeah, you're bang on. Yeah, we didn't want to sort of.
Yeah, we sort of told him not to do it because he was a young player, and we didn't want to get him in trouble with the club because the players have to have permission to do that sort of thing. Especially a young player at his age. And I wouldn't have wanted to jeopardise his West Ham career, so we just said, "No, it's better off if you don't do one. We'd love to talk to you." I think we'd won the game as well, but we'd love to talk to you, and we'd love to have you on in the future. But until like someone gives us the go ahead and gives us a nod, we wouldn't want to put your sort of career in jeopardy.
Yeah, I mean, there's been times where I've exchanged a couple of DMs with Declan Rice, and he's come back, and he's good as gold. And I've met him at a boxing event before, and we stood there and chatted about the team and things like that a couple of seasons ago. So yeah, he's a lovely bloke, and he's the most down to earth football player I think I've ever met.
Yeah. Adam Casey says £5 is Coventry's West Ham career done. Another season, another loan. Feel for him. It's that sort of thing, though, isn't it? It's with them sort of youngsters. There's a lot of them that do that. They just go out and loan and get to about 25. Look at the young Irish kid that we had a couple of years. Go out and loan for so many years and then end up leaving the club. But yeah, I don't know about Conor Coventry, to be quite honest with you.
No, I've still got high hopes for Conor Coventry. I think a season at Peterborough doing well. I think he'll come back next season even stronger. And as someone just said there, Noble's retiring. He's sort of like a perfect replacement to come in for Mark Noble. He impressed in pre-season. And he was probably given the option, look, do you want to stay around and try to break into the first team squad, or do you want to go out on loan? And he's probably said, look, I'd rather go out and get a bit of experience. And Peterborough's a great football club, a well-run football club. And yeah, no, I think it'll doing wonders.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm seeing some vile things in the comments here.
Yeah, I blocked him, mate. He was doing it when you was off as well. As I said, it's just sad people. Don't give him the time of day, mate. Let's just concentrate on the transfer deadline. Don't let him ruin what's been a good night. He's a little sad man that sitting in his own room,
Very, very, very. I don't like things like that, to be quite honest with you. It's, it makes me want to go offline, to be quite honest with you, but it is what it is. King Jong-un having a medical at West Ham.
I think I'll take him at the moment.
At the minute, yeah. If he goes to, if he goes up and can play up front, why has Noble never pushed himself for England? I think he has, mate. He can't pick himself.
Nah, he's too good for England. Too good for England. They don't deserve Mark Noble.
Dennis Cole says, with Moyes in charge, the players look like they've all want in on it. He has all the players believing that and staying humble. You have to got to salute the man. Ryan, I heard Noble was going to carry his career in a championship.
Never.
Nah, he's not.
He's retiring. He's retiring in Seville Stadium next May when he lifts the Europa League trophy. That's when he retires. In sunny Spain.
Liam Allen says the future England captain Rice. Gareth Thomas says, what a great transfer. Even the empty ball got to be pleased with it. I don't think anyone's ever said that, they're not capable of it. It's just they've got to show it. They've got to show it year in, year out. I think people are entitled to be anti-ball because they haven't shown us enough. And that's my opinion. You know what I mean? And I know people have different opinions, but I'm always going to air my opinion.
So what would you rate? What would you rate it out of 10 in this transfer window?
Without a strike, I've got to say a 7. A 7. Oh, he's back. Keep it. I want to keep his. Can you write down? Right. Dan, can you write down these? Dan, can you write down these usernames, please?
That's all right. Yeah, because they can be tracked. Don't worry about that. We got the other one who cried his eyes out when he found out, and we let him off. But
I'll tell you now, mate. Like, with all due respect, I know we're not going to spend too much time on this, but don't let me catch you, mate. Don't let me catch you.
We probably know it is, mate. He's probably run out of the money that he's nicked, and he's sitting there now because he's dead ass channel ain't doing fuck all. So we'll see him over football.
Matt Empson, what an absolute mug. I agree. Here's a good question. Where do you think we will finish with the current squad we've got, says Tom Canati?
I still think we're with this squad that we're good enough to be challenging around the top 6 come the end of the season, even with the European competitions and the cup competitions. I really do. I think we've started the season so well, better than what any of us probably expected. But yeah, no, I think with what we've added to the squad over the last couple of days, and obviously Kurt Zouma at the weekend, I think, I still think we're good enough to be. And this is what we want West Ham to be. We don't want us to be that. We finish 6-1 season, and then the next season, like we're challenging. We're not challenging, but we're back down the bottom of the league. We want to be up there year after year, consistently going for that top 6.
Dan, you got anything to say, mate? What you do down there? You're muted.
You muted me, you
No, he says you muted yourself, you wally.
I didn't. My key, I've not even touched it. I wasn't even touching it. No, we're doing a season predictions video, aren't we? So coming up, but so I'm really going to put some thought into it for that one and try and assess what we've got. So I'm excited to do that. So look out for that one. In terms of what Ryan was saying earlier about where would you rate it? Yeah, I think a striker and a left back would have took it as a 10, and I'm thinking around a 7. And I'm not saying I'm negative against the ball for this transfer window.
Why a left back though?
I think we need a left back because look, we don't know what the situation is with Masuaku. I can't see him really playing in a back four. He's much better in a wing back position. And Creswell's 32 years old. I can't see him being able to play tons and tons of games. I think we definitely need to. That's the position we need to look at. And how long can Creswell do it at that level? We had a fantastic season last season, but we got to start looking to the future.
As I said to you yesterday on the chat, Dan, I think the only reason why we haven't really pushed for a left back is because Masuaku should be back after the international break, and plus we've got Ben Johnson that can cover there if we need to. But definitely, maybe in sort of January, that Ajax left back, I can't even pronounce his name. I'm not even going to Tagatelli, whatever his name is. But there was a lot of noise made yesterday when we was linked with him that he's one for the future and he's a really decent player. So that might be somewhere we might look at come January or maybe next summer. But I just think that
that's the two missing pieces. Imagine, because we've got Sufal on the right, then you got Ogbonna and Zouma in the middle, and then you add a younger, more energetic, real quality left back. So that's your back line is just sorted, and then we got a striker there who can come on if Antonio's not playing, or you got Antonio. That's what would have took it to just a 10. That's what I'm saying. It's a 10. That's perfect window. A 10 is a perfect window. It's not a perfect window. It's 7. I can't. For the board, a lot of people will say, "Oh, what do you think of the board now?" Like, I feel like this is a window where it's like, great, they've done what's expected. They've done what they should be doing. It's not a window where I can say like, "Wow, they've blown our minds." They've signed some players that Moyes wanted to sign, passed on some players that we could have signed. So I would say they haven't done a shit job this window, but they haven't gone above and beyond.
That's the one. Tagliafico. That's it. I've got it now. Tagliafico. See, Nick,
you lost it there.
Oh, fuck it.
Tagliafico.
I'll end up saying Luis Figo in a minute.
We're probably still saying it wrong. It's probably some sort of special pronunciation you got to put on it. Tagliafico or something. But I mean, what do you think, Nick, about a left back? Do you not think? Do you think at some point we need to really consider a left back?
No, I don't. To be honest with you, it's look. If anyone of quality would come in, it would be perfect. Like anyone of quality and anyone that sort of, I think he's a good left back. That Tagliafico. I've heard some good things about him. I ain't seen much of him, but from what I've heard about him, a lot of people rant and rave about him. So anyone,
I heard him for the first time yesterday, and there was a lot of noise coming out about him. So.
Yeah, so he's meant to be a good left back. So I welcome anyone that sort of improves the squad. But is it somebody that I would say is key? No, there's a striker because we have got Creswell, who, apart from having a broken leg a couple of years ago, he's pretty much consistently in the side. He's pretty much consistently fit. And he always has been since he's been here. We have got Masuaku, who, as you say, you don't really know the situation with him, and he can also play on the wing. But you've also got Ben Johnson, who can play left back as well, pretty well. So,
has he really featured? He hasn't really featured much at left back, has he? And when he has, it's been sort of stopgap. And the most impressive performances for Ben Johnson have been right back. That's where
I think when on his debut against City away, he played left back, didn't he? He was unbelievable that day. I think he can play either side, can't he? Right or left.
Yeah.
I think he can even play in the centre as well. He's one of them versatile players.
I just don't think he's as good a fullback as Soufal is. And I would like someone to complement Soufal on that left-hand side to really someone of that quality. I know it's not easy to get, but it'll be interesting.
Snazzy Azzy, talking about our troll, it can be easily traced, his IP address. Snazzy, if you can track down his IP address, honestly, it'll be greatly appreciated. But we have got our ways. We've done it before.
Yeah.
Does Moyes have complete control over signing, says Kieran DW?
Yeah.
I think so now.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's 100% control, but he has more control than I think a manager has ever had under Golden Sullivan, which is good. And I think that's why we're seeing less sort of scattergun type players coming in and less these random signings like Sullivan would pull out of the air and he's a Nordvite out of the blue or something like that.
That's what I said before you joined us. I said all these signings are Moyes signings. They're not David Sullivan signings, and that's the good thing. I know, we want the transfers in straight away, but Moyes looks like he's done his homework on these players, and the two players that we brought in today he's targeted for a long time. So, I trust David Moyes. I think every signing he's done since he's come back to the club has been spot on. And we've pulled some real gems out for you. Look at if you add up the money what we've spent on Soufal, Souček, all these players. He's got some bargains in there for what we've got out of them.
It just worries me. The one thing that worries me is how that in all this time since January, we haven't found a striker that can come in and really step. I mean, now we're going to come to next January and next summer. If we're still not identifying strikers by that, something's really wrong. Because strikers have been getting signed up to clubs left, right, and centre. And you're telling me that there's not one of them that Moyes could have looked at and thought he will fit into our system, he'll fit in the dressing room, he'll do what we need, or even in Europe. I don't understand that. With all that time, we haven't identified anyone. It's really strange to me. So yeah, we'll have to see, won't we? Should have started Tabby, but Origi is someone we can still get on loan. I mean, it's not 11 o'clock yet. If they could have put that deal in, it'll be very interesting.
Kai Hugh says, told Nicky earlier, telling Dan now, need to give the ball credit where it's due. Dan, you're the first to get on their back. Transfers is not as easy as to do as you think, so they've done well. Well, everyone else seems to be able to do them.
Yeah, look, they've done what they're supposed to do. Like I said, I'm always happy to give credit where it's due, and I'm not saying that they've done a horrendous job, and I'm not blaming them for X, Y, Z this window. But I'm not saying that. I'm not going to sit there and go, "Oh, brilliant, the board, they've done the job." I just feel like they've done their job. They've done an adequate, you know what I mean? Moyes has said, let's have this player.
Yeah, they've just done what they should do. They always back the manager. But I think David Moyes, as we said a little while ago, he has a massive say on the transfers. And maybe that's what pisses Sullivan off sometimes, that he don't want these little, I'm going to get this player for you. That's what you got to deal with. He's like, no, these are the players I want. And he sticks to his guns. And that's a good thing. And that's one thing that David Moyes has changed from top to bottom at our football club. I think he's been a breath of fresh air, and I know that there was a lot of people and there are still people that don't like him. But I think we just got to get behind David Moyes now until January. Now this is it. It's a massive few months coming up with Europe, the cups, the league. It's going to take its toll on a few of the players as well.
There was something that you said. I think it was you, Ryan, said in the group chat. Imagine if we get these players, and you listed like who we got, and then like striker, then another player. And I can't remember what the players were, but I said, didn't I? I said, look, if they say that, I'll go on the live stream tonight and say thank you, Golden Sullivan. And I feel like it's when they go above me, or if they pull off like a big signing or someone you just don't expect and really slap down some money, you have to go fair play. And I promise you, I'm not just being biased. I will give them credit when it comes. But,
yeah, I think that's, and we're like that on this channel. You know, we can sit there and we can slate. Like the other day, we done post-match pint and we didn't slate the players, but we said players were poor, and these are players that we back week in, week out. But you have to just talk about the situation. And yeah, you know, we can sit here and we can slate the board left, right, and centre. But when they do the right decisions, we do praise them. And a lot of people don't see that often because they don't usually often do it. So, but like with David Moyes, you know, there's people on the channel that have sort of changed their mind about David Moyes, and they've admitted like, oh, he's doing well, and that's good. We always want to be proved wrong. If we slate a player, we want a player to prove us wrong, because if Moyes is doing well, the players are doing well, West Ham are doing well, everyone's happy.
Believe me, I want the board to come and like, you know, make me say thank you, make me say they're amazing. I want them to do that. I really do, because if they're doing that, then it means West Ham are doing well. As much as I don't like them and what they've done, I want them to turn things around and do an amazing job. But
okay, VPN Molester says, "Good luck finding me, you prick. I know where you live, King Nick. Why would I want to find you if you know where I live? Come find me." What a loser! Laugh my ass off. Yeah, fucking idiot. Holgate, that you lot giving an honest opinion like most fans. Well, it's because we are fans, mate.
I think we are fans. You know, I know we do a YouTube channel, but as we've always said, West Ham Fan TV could end tomorrow. We'd still be going home and away. We'd still be going. We've been doing it since we were kids. So, you know, we are fans and we care about the football club.
It's an interesting one. What the Luxter said, Dan, maybe Moyes sees a striker as a target in games, but 4 or 5 attacking midfielders, no one knows where the goals are coming from. So I think what the Luxter's saying is if you have a striker, the defenders can easily prep and try and isolate that person. But like I said, when you have a lot of different options on the field where goals can come from, it's a lot harder to prepare and prevent that. And that's a very interesting point, I think.
It's your false number 9, isn't it? You flood out the midfield, and you have the defenders won't know who's going to be the runner, who's going to make them run. So
sometimes it is nice to have a focal point, though, isn't it, for the attack, and which we kind of
we're old school. We all love that old-fashioned English striker, hold up play and battle, but I think we've got that in Antonio. I'm just hoping. Obviously, listen. Congratulations to Antonio. You know, named in the Jamaica squad today. Fair play to him. You know, he's going to represent the country. He should be representing England. If I'm honest, he's good enough to play for England. Especially now, England have got only Harry Kane and Bamford going into these next 3 games. It's crazy.
Antonio is the most informed striker in Europe's top 5 leagues out of anyone. That includes Lewandowski.
He's the best player in the world in my eyes. He scored more than Messi this season, so I'm just saying that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. Like, you name a player, he's got more goals and assists than any of the top players in Europe.
He's been brilliant for us. The last since we, I don't know what he ate during the first lockdown, but he must have ate some magic beans, because he come back a totally different player, and he's just been smashing goals in left, right, and centre, bullying defenders.
This is interesting. Phil Brown says City can play without strikers. We cannot. And they have got a lot of quality there. It's interesting. I mean, we will find out, won't we? I mean, it hasn't really worked so much up to now, like when we've tried it. And like I said, when we had Bowen up front, we was really starting to struggle to score goals. And I hope Moyes is looking at that and addressed that with some of the signings, and he has taken that into account. It's going to be very interesting. We just need, you know what I think we need as well, is just something different on the bench, another option, you know, when we're in those games, Antonio's getting a bit tired and you want to bring on some fresh legs that's going to terrorize the defenses. That's kind of what we need. And I just don't know if we have that. That's the problem.
Yeah, I'm just looking. 13 minutes to go. Nothing's happening.
Yeah, it's looking like
there's a hint that there might be one more signing, but I think it might be that 16-year-old kid.
all right.
Arsenal just completed the signing of that Japanese international.
Tomiyasu. We were linked with him last summer, I believe, as a centre back. If I remember rightly, they've signed him as a right back. We were linked with him as possibly coming on centre back, and I think the fee sort of put us off. But a lot of weird things going on at that club. A lot of weird things going on. They've spent 155 million, and not much to really show for it, if you ask me.
Calvin Phillips has been named as the England Men's Player of the Year.
Really?
What?
Yeah, I don't know how that one's.
Calvin Phillips.
Don't get me wrong, he's a great player, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, of all the options that you've got to pick from, I'm not even just saying, Rice should have it. Sterling.
I'm to be honest, mate. I tweeted this the other day. I think Leeds are the biggest fucking fraud in English football. I don't understand the wank fest. Like, there was an article on Sky Sports saying like Beasler, like meticulous Beasler, getting his message across.
Beasler.
That's his name, isn't it? Beasler.
Bielsa.
Oh well, I always call him
manager.
Beasler. Getting his message across at Leeds and all that. They've lost 5-1, drew 2-2 at Everton, and 1-1 at Burnley.
Jace is really happy with what you're saying now. He's loving it.
I honestly look, Leeds are they're a brilliant and a top club, right? But I don't understand that they like Bielsa is a manager that knows one way of playing. And yeah, he sits on the sideline looking from the bottom and all of that sort of thing, sitting on buckets and all of that sort of thing. But I'm not that impressed. They've got one way of playing, and when they get found out, they get found out and they get beat, and it's quite easily. To be
yeah. You know what? I think the first season is you give them allowances, didn't you? And you think, you know what? They did well for the first season. This is the season where I'm really watching Beasler.
People try for. They've been trying for nigh on 20 years to get back into the Premier League, and they got back in and all of that sort of thing. But they run around like fucking headless chickens, and they either drown you out, and if you're good enough to pass it around them, then you beat them.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, they've signed Dan James, didn't they, for a lot of money? Really surprising, because he was a sort of fringe player at Man United. They've signed him, so very interested to see what they do, and if they can try and really challenge us for those spots that we're aiming for. It's going to be very interesting to see what other teams step up this season. I think Crystal Palace, they could be an interesting candidate for a top 10 challenge this season. I think they look very good, and they've added in some good quality. And Edouard could be the final piece, because Benteke, mate. I know Jace wants us to sign Benteke one day, but he's not doing it. Yeah,
CBA KMN says, but Arsenal to Andy Carroll. Fuck me, Arsenal ain't dropped that fucking low.
He's already gone Reading, unfortunately, for Arsenal.
No, that's how bad it's got. Andy Carroll's actually signed Arsenal.
Yeah, he's bought them.
He's bought them.
Do you know what?
He's probably earned enough money out of football.
He might do a better job than Kroenke. Can you imagine? Okay, no, he's gone to Reading, isn't he? He must have dropped his wages, surely, tremendously.
Of course he. I mean, again, look, this is what I don't understand about footballers like him. He's earning nothing. You know what I mean? Like, you can't turn around and say to someone, "I'll give me $100,000 a week," because even if he took $10,000 a week, $10,000 a week is better than no grand a week.
Who are we talking about?
Carroll. So Ronaldo.
What, has he gone Reading?
Yeah, he's gone to Reading. He's signed for Reading.
Fucking hell.
I can't remember. There was another player that they signed as well. Jason might know.
They signed Danny Drinkwater as well, didn't
Drinkwater, yeah. Drinkwater.
What?
Yeah.
Reading are on the march, mate.
The Royals.
I don't mind him. It's a decent away, guys. It's not that far. That's what I like about it. The ones that ain't that far.
Paul's asking if I'm okay. I'm very quiet. Yeah, I'm fine, mate. I'm trying to look to see if anything's going on the transfer thing. I'm keep refreshing, hoping that there's going to be a striker holding a West Ham shirt.
Sam Butler says, "Can I say something?" Yeah.
Go on, Sam.
Oh, he said, as Azabal has spent the most on transfers. I think he meant Arsenal.
They spent 150 odd million.
155 million now.
The keeper was about 40 million, wasn't he?
Yeah, Ramsdale was like, no, they sent 50 million on Ben White. I think it was
Serge Aurier has agreed to terminate his Tottenham contract by mutual consent.
Bloody hell. Another one of the sort of Tottenham player that they overhyped and tried to sort of say being in a West Ham Tottenham combined 11.
Who was that player they signed earlier? Chicken Royale or whatever his name was.
Who?
They announced it like the Buckingham Palace thing, didn't they? Welcoming the Royal. I'm sure that geezer only just signed for Barcelona as well.
Yeah, I didn't see that. Yeah, I did not see that at all.
B Pat Rat Pack says, "Didn't your car break down on the way to Rennie one time, Nicky?" Yeah, it did, mate.
Yeah. We got battered 3-0 and fucking Alan and Marlon Airwood got taken off after about 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes. It was 2-0 down after 10 minutes and he fucking subbed Marlon Airwood off. And all I remember, he was looking around thinking, what?
Yeah.
It's interesting. Shocked Wilshere has gone to train with Como in Italy's second division. He was bigger than West Ham, though. Yeah, exactly. Look, he's an idiot. It really is.
It's such a fall from grace, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame. I know a lot of people like.
He's a prick, though, right?
No, yeah, I know the comments he come out with. He's a bit of a prick, but I do feel sorry for him because he was such a talent, and he's the injuries and that have just wrecked his career, and he'll always be remembered for. And as you said, he's training with a second division team in Italy. You know. It's crazy to think, you know. I thought when he come to West Ham, I thought, you know what, this might be the club for him. But it just hasn't worked out. And then he left us and he went to Bournemouth last season. And
do you think all the injuries were genuine? There's been rumours, as there was
probably
rumours
not.
Carroll,
probably not.
You know, about sort of personal life choices and all that sort of thing. And there are some players that, you know, they get an injury and they could play, but they decide not to play. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he had, you know, at Arsenal, he was in trouble quite a bit with Wenger for all of his out off-field antics. But, I mean, I said on the Isla stream earlier, you know, if he was really serious and he's sitting there saying, no one wants me to play for him, it's like, drop your wages to a price that a team are happy to pay you, and you'll play if you're that serious. I mean, if you've got to go down to 30 grand a week, well, that's what someone's willing to pay you, mate.
I think sometimes when it comes to sort of like them injury-prone players as well, I find that a big problem is the fact that they, you know, Jack Wilshere, when he was 21, 22, 23, was touted to be like on the road to becoming one of the best in the world. In midfield, like I remember, you know, the games against Barcelona and a couple of seasons he had, and his passing ability and all of that was phenomenal. But they sort of try and live on that reputation. I mean, he quite happily took 100 grand a week off West Ham and played about 10 games. You know what I mean? And you know, and then you can't just keep on doing it. That's for my money. That's stealing a living. You can't do that in football, and you can't expect to. And just because he's got that sort of reputation from when he's 22, 23, he's trying to. Well, he was trying to sort of demand that same sort of money. You know, he just can't do that.
Did you see Newcastle signed that striker from the film Goal?
What?
You know the film about that South American player who signs for Newcastle.
Santiago Muniz.
Yeah, they've signed someone with the exact same name.
Oh yeah, I see that earlier.
The memes are brilliant. The memes, he's got the exact same name, near enough, I think it is, or it's very close. And the memes are brilliant for it. Newcastle, I don't even know what they've done this window, but
well, with 3 minutes to go. I don't think there's going to be anyone coming in.
No, you never know. We might have someone come and see.
Is either Good Johnson turned up yet, or who's the other one we're always linked with? Adebayor or
Loic Remy? Give us a bit of Loic Remy.
And who was the other one that we was always linked with
Carlos
Baca.
Yeah. Oh, could you imagine? We finally signed Carlos Baca.
Carlos Baca's here, 56 years old.
I'm trying to see what's what, but I need to go to David Gold's Twitter page, see if he told us not to go to bed. Let's see.
Yeah, I think he's put tuck yourself in, boys.
Do you remember that time when he said don't go to bed and nothing happened? We was waiting for I think it was Adebayor, wasn't it? We were supposed to sign Adebayor, and he said don't go to bed, and no one went to bed and nothing happened.
Everyone was tired.
It was ridiculous. We was like, oh, here we go. And I don't know. I'd love to know what happened behind the scenes for that Adebayor deal. I can't remember. I just remember it did not happen. I think it was Tottenham because he was at Tottenham at the time, wasn't
he? Yeah.
And they was being pricks as usual. But that would always go down in West Ham infamy. Don't go to bed. Nothing happens.
2 minutes left. The countdown is on.
Every year that tweet comes back to haunt him, doesn't it?
Every year. It's tradition. Don't go to bed.
And the one where he found the pool cleaner, his wife in his pool or something like that.
It was when
on the day his father, and he spells it wrong.
He found his wife having sex with his best friend in his swimming pool the same day he found out his father was stealing his shares. And he likes to repeat that story quite often.
It's weird, isn't it? Why would you want to repeat that story?
I know. He's such a funny character on bloody Twitter, he is.
Do you know what? When someone just said it there, I would have taken Deeney for like when he left Watford yesterday. When I see him leave Watford, I thought this has got David Sullivan written all over it. I'm glad we've got David, boys, because if Pellegrini or Big Sam was in charge, Troy Deeney would have been a West Ham player.
Oh yeah, 100%. Could you imagine? And he would have been.
When he left yesterday, they showed the highlights of when he scored the winner in the playoff semi-final against Leicester. Do you remember when Leicester missed a penalty and they went up the other end and scored straight away? But yeah, that would have definitely been a Big Sam signing if he was still here.
There's a few. Dan, why do you know it off by heart? Because that bloody fake Colton Cole tweets it every other fucking day. He does,
and that is it. Window is closed. Is closed. Now there could be some straggling.
Paperwork I'll go through. When they say, "Oh look, the paperwork's gone through."
Yeah, there could be some straggling news. But
they sign. You can sign. You can do an extension, can't you? You can apply for an extension as well.
Yeah.
David Sullivan's asked for another 6 weeks.
Another 4 months till January. Yeah. But we'll have to see. I don't know why Kai is trying to bloody put this fake news about Bamba. He's talking rubbish, though.
Yeah,
there's no Bamba.
Time him out or something, man. I don't know why.
You're on time out. You're on the naughty step, Kai. You're on the naughty step.
Everton just announced Rondon. To be fair, we couldn't have gone for Rondon anyway. You can only have 2 international loans, and we've got them.
No, you can have 4. 4.
No, that's not true. That's 2.
So 4 international loans, 2 domestic. That's what.
You can have 6 players on loan.
That's what I was.
I mean, you don't even have to own players to play football these days.
It's 4. Yeah, someone back me up on this. I'm
sure it's 2. I'm sure it's 2 in the international and 2.
Why was Kai blocked for 5 minutes?
He was tweeting fake news about Bamba being signed. So Derek's saying it as well. Oh, maybe I've been hasty here. Maybe Bamba.
Imagine he had been announced, and we just hadn't seen it yet.
Well, that's why. Well, at least we only put him on timeout. I'll apologise.
So we've got what we've got. So let's go through them and rate the signings as we've got them. Areola. Goalkeeper, what would you rate him at 10?
I'd say
8.
I would say I want to say 8 and 9, but I'm going to say a 7 only because it's a loan, and I think he's going to be very good. But there's a chance we might not keep him, and he's on high wages. So I'm going to say a 7 just because of that.
Yeah, I like the look of him at Fulham last year. He was one of their better players. He was quite unlucky to be playing for a club like that, to be quite honest with you. When they was sort of conceding goals left, right, and centre. I'm going to give him a 7 because he's a good goalie. Kurt Zouma.
9.
That's a 9.
I think he's a brilliant signing. I really do. And you know, when we first got him, you know, I was a bit, but then Chelsea fans have actually made me warm to him a bit more because they're so gutted that they've lost him. So I feel like we've got to still, and he's only 26 as well. He's still young, and I think he's going to add quality to our back four.
Yeah, he's going to get into the prime of his career. A lot of people going for a 9 and a 10, an 8. I've got to go for a 9. I've got to go for a 9. Maybe an 8.5 because he could be fucking terrible, couldn't he? Let's be honest.
I think he's been good at every club he's gone to. Obviously, he's got his weaknesses, and what player doesn't? You know,
I think that's a big signing, Zouma.
Yeah,
and getting him from Chelsea and getting him, I know it weren't huge amounts of money in terms of today. I mean, fuck me, more money than we'll ever see in our lifetime. But
I think in the context as well of what we've got in terms of a 31-year-old Dawson, like a 33-year-old Ogbono who's starting to get injured a lot, it's what we really needed. So yeah, 9.
Vlasic.
It's a difficult one, really, because I've obviously seen glimpses of him more when he played for Croatia against England and that. But yeah, I'm excited to see him. I'll give that one an 8 because I am excited to see him on the pitch in the West Ham shirt. And yeah, I think he's going to add a lot of quality to what we've already got.
Yeah, 7.5, just because there is that element of uncertainty. But I'm very excited to see him play. It's all going to be about how he takes to the Premier League. So time will tell on that one. I think 7.5.
I'm going to say 7, just because I don't know much about him. As you say, Roy, I only see him internationally. Really, I'm not a big fan of Moscow football, if I'm honest, or Russian football. So yeah, I'm going to say 7. And finally, Alex Krau.
The thing is, I thought he had a poor Euros, if I'm honest. But just because of his hair in his announcement video, I'm going to give him an 8. and because Soufal and Souček recommend him and rate him, yeah, I'm going to give him. I'm going to give him an 8. I'm looking forward to seeing him. No, not an 8. That's a bit too generous. I'm going to give him a 7. I'm going to go for a 7.
I'll give him a 7.5 because, I mean, I try not to judge players too much, good or bad, off the Euros. And he is rated quite a bit, and we've seen what these Czech players with 2 top quality Czech players signed so far. Souček is a top scout, as he pointed out that he is on Twitter.
If he's half as good as them, we've still got a great signing.
Yeah, and I think it's the fact for me is it's a position we really needed covering, like desperately needed covering, because to try and rely on Souček and Rice to play every game all season and rely on Noble as well would be a lot. So I'm really, really happy we've signed a player there, and I'm happy with Krau. So 7.5.
Anas Ahmed is putting Dawson in there as well. We haven't put him on there, but I don't count Dawson. We signed him sort of like towards the end of last season, so he's not a this summer signing, but he's an 8 for me. If you'd have asked me before, he was a -8, but now he's an 8. He's done a brilliant job. Let's have a look at the.
You didn't give your Krau rating. You went
Krau. I'm going to say 6 just because I don't know fuck all about him. If I'm honest.
Is that all we've seen? You know, when you've gone through like the list of players, it feels like we've hardly signed anyone. Like I felt like we've signed
a lot of youngsters as well, haven't we?
Yeah, I'm not really counting the youngsters. They're not going to come into the first team. I can't really rate the signing of the 17 goalkeepers that we brought in. So out, surprisingly, Anderson, £2.7 million to Lazio. Rate that business.
5. I mean, I just thought we could have got a bit more for him, to be honest. That's all. We could have been a little bit tougher.
Yeah,
apparently he's had a good start there, though, as well. He's had a really good start at Lazio.
That's his level, though. You know, some people, you know, suit certain football, and Italian football is a lot slower than the Premier League. And we had glimpses of Anderson, not as many as we wanted to, but yeah, he had to go. He had to leave the football club.
I think he should have been valued a little bit more to what he can do for them. You know what I mean? Like the fact that he would be
5% of what we paid for him. 5%.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I just thought, you know what I mean? Could have waited. Scott, you could have got at least 5 mil out of him. Sure.
No, I'd say 10.
Yeah, that's what I will. 10 would have been the
like, you know, someone that you paid nearly £50 million for, sort of 3-4 years ago. I think you could have got 10 million for him.
To be fair, we probably still owed Lazio 48 million of it. So
yeah, that's a possibility. That's probably why they paid so little. They might have owed us. We might have owed them 10 million still, or 5 million or something. So, yeah, look, if I'd have been honest, just with Europe, I would have kept him for a year. I don't like him. I don't think Moyes, well, obviously you don't like him, but he has got qualities, and like Europe's a lot slower, and he could have done a job in Europe.
I just don't think he particularly fits Moyes' style, does he?
Are you going to keep someone around just to play in Europe? Is he going to be happy with that? Probably not. So yeah, I've got to say, as a piece of business, he had to go, but you got to rate it as a free. I think just because of the money we've got for him, it's ridiculous. Balbuena obviously got released. Should we have stuck more on him to keep him?
It's released. So yeah, like couldn't we have got no? Oh no, his contract was up, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think he wanted to leave as well. I think he wanted to go back abroad, which is fair enough. I thought he'd done all right for us when he played. There was a little time at West Ham in his spell where he sort of had a good run of games and he looked like he was settling in. Him and Diop I remember they had a good partnership going at one point, and then. But look, his contract ran down. He obviously didn't want to renew it. He's left the football club and he's gone out.
Yeah. If we didn't sign Zouma, I would have been more disappointed that we didn't keep him just for all the games that we've got. But I think with Zouma, I'm happy to see Balbuena out, Zouma in, and really look towards the future. And we got. Yeah, I'm really surprised. I mean, really surprised actually. We didn't have slightly more outgoings there. Especially from like you would think they would start to clear out a bit more of like some of Pellegrini's friend, like Yarmolenko. Just very surprised. He's another one. Like say Anderson doesn't really fit. I think Moyes' style of play. I don't think Yarmolenko fits Moyes' style of play. The high intensity, constantly running and moving. And yeah, it's going to be interesting.
We're coming towards the end of the stream now, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you tonight. Nick Knack says, is Nicky finally happy? Is he going to moan? I am happy, Nick Knack, but am I going to moan? Yeah.
You bet you are.
I thought you were singing a song then. Nick Knack, is Nick finally happy? Is he going to moan?
I'll tell you why I'm happy, because we're in a fucking town on Saturday night. That's why we're happy.
Yeah, international break, boys on tour
boys on town, and everyone that's just joining us tonight, we've booked all of our trips to Europe. We're going as long as obviously the club and the
we find out tomorrow about that.
We find out tomorrow whether we can go, but I'm pretty confident that they're going to lift the bans, and we've booked them all: hotels, flights. Obviously, when the tickets come out, we'll book the tickets. Well, I'm imagining they're going to be tomorrow, but we're going to Europe. West Ham Fan TV are going to be on location in Zagreb, in Genk, and in Vienna. So, yes, there's going to be, if there's no away fans, then we've wasted about £1,000. So,
yeah. But if it does go ahead, we've probably saved about £4,000.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm really excited. I don't know what the allocation is and all of that sort of stuff, but it'd be amazing, wouldn't it, just to go and watch West Ham abroad in a big tournament like that. Exciting times to be West Ham, and I've booked up my my home tickets for the Europa League today, so looking forward to seeing those games
as well today.
£85 mine were, bastards.
Yeah, I think ours was 75, weren't they?
I thought they were 60. They might have been 70. I don't know.
No. 75.
Funky Pigeon asked if it's all five of us. We're rotating. We're doing like what Moyes is going to be doing in all these cup games. We're rotating the squad.
Breaking news: Antonio's hamstrings are exploding at a stroke of 11 p.m.
Yeah, innit?
That happen. I wouldn't love to see that happen, but imagine that would be so West Ham, would it?
Yeah. Someone was saying on this stream I was on before that the medical team have found a new solution. I don't know if it was Jace was saying this, but a new way of managing Antonio that should see less injuries, which is exciting.
Magic legs.
Kai Coogan says, how do you get onto West Ham Fan TV? I press the button.
No, if you I don't know if you get to any games, Kai, but we're usually outside the stadium. We interview fans, and we do have
and anyone that says we only interview the same fans, mate, go and tell me that about the queue that we had on set. We interview everybody, and I mean everybody that queues up for a fan cam. And fuck me, that queue the other night did not stop. Believe me.
It makes me laugh when people say that. So someone commented on like Mike's video and was like, you interview the same people, and they didn't go and watch all of the other new people that have never been on before. They're like, they only watch the same people and complain we interviewed the same people and don't watch the other people.
I know a couple of people mentioned it in the chat, but Grande Silva's left the club, gone.
400 grand.
I thought it was 200 grand Sunday went for.
He's another player, isn't he, that we all had high. He was banging them in for the under 23s, high expectations. I think I remember he played against Birmingham, didn't he, in the FA Cup for the first team. And another player that just couldn't make it.
I just don't feel like, I don't know if we really give him a chance. You know, maybe I don't know. Because we was calling for him for several times. You know, to give him a chance.
Yeah, see, that's the song, Nick. Look, Roy May Jr.'s got the song for you now.
That is spot on, Nick. That Paddy Wake's Nick gonna moan. He will when Haller's back on loan. That is beautiful. Linky's face is priceless. Oh, if we get Haller back on loan, it all starts again. Look at you.
Haller in January, 40 million.
Oh, that would be a fucking. Could you imagine? Like. Do you know what though? If they said, "Look, have Haller back, and we won't pay you the rest of money that we owe you,"
I'd rather take fucking £2. If they turned around and said, "Look, we owe you still 15 million. We'll give you 2 million, or we'll give you him back," I just say, "Give the 2 million." Just
piss off! What are we going to give you 2 million? We'd have a backup striker
and like a new pitch laid down or something, like Undersaw eating. That's what you could get with it. It's ain't more fucking useful than him.
I'd have him back in a heartbeat as a backup to Antonio. Mike says Vlasic is going to be better than Lingard. I hope so, because Lingard was really good, and Vlasic is obviously a lot younger. And I think he's got something to prove. I think he's coming back with something to prove after it. You know, it didn't really work out at Everton, and you know, he'll have a similar hunger and desire that Lingard had, but I hope with a bit more ability and a bit more youth and energy on his side. You know. So
Epic Ash time says there still could be surprises, Ryan.
Well, like WrestleMania.
You don't want to miss all the surprises.
Could you imagine?
I'll never forget that, man. That was a funny thing. No, I don't want to watch it now. I've missed all the surprises. Only fucking hour gone.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed, you know, we'll wake up and there'll be some random thing we weren't expecting. I said, do you not play FIFA? We got FIFA show. Yeah, Emenike, bring him back. He's got something to prove. But yeah, we have a FIFA show on here, mate.
Well, I play FIFA. Ryan don't play FIFA. Dan tries to play FIFA.
Mate, you can't say that when I beat you every time at the FIFA launch. Like, you just, for some reason, you just couldn't beat me.
Went to one FIFA launch and you beat me in one game.
It wasn't one game. We had like 4 games and I beat you every time. And you was like, I'm not playing anymore. Shit game. Shit. It's priceless. So, yeah, Nicky's yet to beat me in a game of FIFA. So we may have to revisit that at some point with a new one.
Myself against anyone at a game of FIFA.
You've heard it here. You beat Jace. That's it. I'll give you that. You beat Jace. But look out for that. But no, it's exciting. I just can't wait now to go and see us play now. And this is that thing, innit? You get all the new players. You all want to see them play, and you want to see your new toys, as they say. It's very, very exciting.
Gaz Wad says, any news on what ex-West Ham employees putting out around 23.15? He sent that at 23.16. So it's best off to go and have a look and see what he's saying, mate.
Yeah, there's nothing. Usually you'll get something to be like, someone will tweet OMG X, OMG, and that's it. And just like cryptic. And everyone else is like, what are you talking about, mate?
I'll be honest with you, I think watching the In the Nose kills it a little bit.
There's so many now. It's mad, isn't it? How many of these In the Nose there are?
I do feel sorry for X sometimes, man. Some of the shit he takes. And he's a bit like us. He'll bite back. But yeah, well, at least he gets a bit of time off now until January.
No, I see stuff on there earlier, like Dave was, and all of these people. I swear on my life, the geezer that was on here earlier, the geezer that was the kids that are doing. Ryan sent me a screenshot of someone that said something very similar to what this geezer was saying on here today.
They was doing it. They were doing it to me, but when you went off earlier, the same bloke was doing it to me. Then you come back on, he started doing it to you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He sent me a tweet that was sent. It's all the same people. We know we've got a good idea of who they are. And trust me, we'll find out.
X has got time, man. He's done a whole thread of everyone that's giving him shit. His transfer. He's done a thread with screenshots.
And you see Dave Walker earlier got like a fake account was DMing somebody. Like, it's very, very. It's just out of order, to be fair. I know Amos chatted it a couple of years ago when somebody sort of like screenshotted an edited tweet, and it's. I don't think it's fair, and I don't think that like. Yeah, that's. I'm not going to go into it tonight.
I just think it's funny. He's really sat down. He's done a whole thread. But yeah, nothing. I'm refreshing. Nothing's come out about this other last minute news. So we'll have to see. But yeah, I mean, we'll see where the squad's at, won't we? When it come January, and if we need anything, of course we do need that striker. You just don't like to leave things. I don't like to rely on the January transfer window. But like I said, guys, very, very excited to see these new players, see how they come in. It's going to be very interesting to see with the Carabao Cup game against. We're going to talk about that, but like and this is the thing, actually, any game, Moyes, right? Moyes, who does Moyes play? Like, what the selection headache is mad with the players' options that he has on that on the wing and in the attacking midfield. It's really is.
Says, can you actually find these people? Have you found one before? Yeah, we have found them before. Yeah, we have. And the geezer nearly pissed his pants when we approached him. We can. Yeah, I've got. Yeah, I won't say too much, but we've got ways. Charlie Mills, yes, yeah, Nicky, these false claiming to be Fabrizio Romano had me baffled that we were signing Bamba.
Oh yeah, a lot of people were changing their name and pictures on Twitter today and pretending to be agents, and that's what I'm saying. I think one of them, I think it was Tom from Amish Chat. He tweeted that we was re-signing Andy Carroll as a joke, and fucking hell, it went mental.
Yeah,
he changed his picture and his name to like an agent, and it went mental.
That's how easy it is. That's how easy it is. But
very easy it is to fool people.
As you see, Dom's giving the window a 4 out of 10. It's a 4 out of 10.
It's all right. So I'll give it a 4.
Yeah, 4. Yeah, we should have striker.
Tell him to shut up.
Secretly, he's happy though. He gives it an 8.
We and Nicky went out for a nice meal with him after the game Saturday. We had a nice meal in a Turkish place. But
a lot of people like tweeting Jesse Lingard saying, "I can't believe you'd rather be a bench player than join West Ham." And it wasn't in Lingard's. Lingard can't just walk out and say, "I'm going West Ham." It's not Lingard's fault.
How do people not know that you can't sell yourself?
Yeah, it's not Lingard's fault. It was Man United wanting to sign the extension, and they were being the bastards, Man United. And I think we'll see him in January.
Just before we go, mate, someone's got a really important question. Did you have spicy sausage?
What? Is that a euphemism?
Probably.
Did you have a spicy
Maybe it is a
sausage?
euphemism. Then Dan's answer is yes. He did have a spicy sausage.
No, he's probably talking about. You said you went Turkish, didn't you? So then they do.
Yeah,
No, what did I? I had doner kebab. That's
Yeah,
what I had.
doner and chips, didn't you? I had falafel.
I ate about 2 forkfuls of it.
Yeah, I had falafel wrap. So no, it was nice in there. Then we
and
went for a bit.
some proper nice bread.
Oh, that bread was something else.
Bread is so nice.
She never goes, oh, can you bring us some more bread, please? And she went, yeah, took the basket, never saw her again.
Can't use you've got a podcast, says on Dom's Twitter, is part of your podcast. Yeah, he does do our podcast. He's going to start that up soon.
Start a podcast. Him and Marshy, they remind me a bit of Smith and Jones. Smith and Jones. You know, remember Smith and Jones? They'd be sitting opposite each other, and they'd be like, "Yeah, you right there, Smith." And yeah. It's good.
Okay,
show.
we'll leave it there because I'm fucking tired, to be quite honest with you, and I know you all are too.
Yeah.
DG says go to bed.
Yeah, we can go to bed now. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on this edition of West Ham Fan TV's Transfer Deadline Day Live. If you're new around here, subscribe, smash that like button. The more likes we get, the more people see it. Share it if you can. Come back
we get
in the comment section down below if you want to rate the transfer window. Put them in the comment section. Like when we log off, you'll see it go on YouTube. Leave it down there because we read all of them. Like all of this stuff goes really fast. So don't, just because you've got involved in the chat tonight, don't neglect the sort of comment section because they're the ones we can read back and sort of interact with after the fact. Yeah, so do that. Share it. As I say, it helps us out greatly. If you want to subscribe. We've got merchandise in the link in the description down below. Gavin O'Flynn says, can I get a West Ham Fan TV glass, Ryan? I don't know why he's asking you. I've got them all in the boot of my car.
Yeah, of course you can. Go to Nicky's boot of his car and get one.
Yeah. And that's everything. Anything else anyone wants to say?
I'm going to put a poll up on our YouTube page. You can go and vote what you think of what would you rate our transfer business on our poll. There, that's going up.
There you go then.
We'll be back with it's International Week, and it's a Friday night pint, and then you'll probably see some drunk videos on Saturday at some point. Fun.
I might do a musings tomorrow, just because it's transfer deadline day. We've got some transfer themed musings. Are we ever going to get on the social again?
Yeah. I'm going to start that out. I'm going to start that out next week. I was thinking about that today as it goes. I'm going to get that back up next week and we're going to get all the shows going again. I want Dan to bring back his thingy show, the West Ham Week. When
I want to
like 3 minutes or.
Yeah, I want to try and think of a way I can give it a little refresh.
I'll get old Johnny COVID on Graham on the social with me. Yeah.
And Hayden,
Hayden's in the room. I forgot. Do you know what? I totally forgot about Hayden. I will pop round and pick it up. He's got one of our recorders that we left Friday Night Pint Live. So I'll message you tomorrow, Hayden. Sorry about that, mate. It's just been so mental the last couple of weeks. But I'm sure you've looked after it for us.
Just a little exclusive for the people left here.
Oh.
Sorry, I got finished with biscuit.
I'm fucking on the edge of a seat here, Nick.
Friday Night Pint was such a success, Friday Night Pint Live, that we are planning to do it again. We are planning to do it again before the end of the season. So if you did miss out the first one, and I tell you, mate, you missed out on a really good night, it will be coming back.
Yeah, exciting stuff. Really, really excited about it. And you'll be seeing some footage of now it's international break. You'll be seeing some footage of the first one going up this week. So look out for it. You'll see a bit of it and what it was like.
Oh, it's all going on, isn't it? It's all going on.
Exclusives, eh? We've got the exclusives. Maybe not signings, but
I feel like I need to on the socials coming back next week.
I'm going to create We need an account called ex West Ham Fan TV Employee where we can put all of our exclusive news out.
Yeah,
ITK for the channel.
WHF TV employee.
Yeah.
Because he's missed 3 in a row now. He's getting sacked in the morning. Nah, bless him. He was tired.
I'm tired.
Yeah, but he chases rats. He was like the rat catcher on Saturday.
Well, he's come to the first game. He ain't done fuck all summer. He's come to one game, and he's got to have a night off on a Tuesday.
Oh, fucking hell. On a Tuesday as well. I'll tell you what, I didn't like them rats and mice the other day. I couldn't relax. And then you jumping around like a silly boy. But then again, I did get you back when I put that furry microphone on your ass. But even though I knew it weren't real, you still made me jump when you jumped because I thought maybe there's a little rat come out or something.
Yeah, we're not doing PMP there again, honestly. That was unsettling. Bushes moving all the time and getting well dodgy.
Okay, so that's it then. Thank you very much for joining us. One thing left to say, boys.
Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.